I'm weak. I'm fragile. I weigh 115 pounds. I get dizzy when I stand up. I can't really swim, and I have a crippling fear of heights. How many colossi from Shadow of the Colossus do I think that I can beat? See, it might sound like I don't have much confidence in my Colossus slaying abilities. However, I do have one thing that can propel me to new heights. Not literally, because those are scary. Yes, dear viewer, I do in fact have a secret weapon to help me kill the colossi. And that is my huge male ego. No matter what the challenge may be, I will always subconsciously think that I can beat it, even if the challenge is a giant stone demon the size of a building. Of course I can wrestle a bear, look at me, I'm huge. My name is Blake, and let's go fight some rocks. Now, while I am most certainly overconfident in my abilities, I do in fact know my own limits, and am very sad to report that there is in fact some colossi that I cannot beat. The first one that comes to mind is the 5th Colossus, Avion. Avion was actually the reason I got this idea, because I was watching someone play through the game and they got to that boss and I thought, I could not do that. The fact that you gotta climb onto this beast and have it fly up into the sky with you on its back is an absolute pass for me. All the colossi are tall in some way, but the worst part about it is actually how high up I am here. You see, my fear of heights isn't all a fear of heights, it's mostly just a fear of falling from said heights. I can absolutely take a lion in a brawl. You know what I can't take? Gravity. Believe me, I tried. So needless to say, blazing through the skies at high speeds with the wind in my face and a giant black lake underneath me is not something that I can handle mentally or physically. I accept that. Along these lines is the 7th Colossus, Hydrus. I mean, it goes underwater, what more can I say? My swimming ability isn't horrific, like I can probably tread water for a minute or two, but my ass does not have the confidence to last an entire boss fight. As soon as Hydrus starts diving, I'm going right down with him. Another boss who can absolutely knock my lights out is the 8th Colossus, Kuramori. It spits out Blake-killing gas from its mouth, like it does it for a living, and I forgot my gas mask on the other side of the bridge, so I'll just take my chances. No, bad idea, bad idea. The best way to kill Kuramori is by leading it to the top of the arena and following it down when you knock it off. But again, falling is not my strong suit. Maybe if there was an elevator, this would be a different story. Now, I said earlier that I can't really swim that well, and while that's definitely true, I do think I would have an okay time with Pelagia, the 12th Colossus. The fact that he shows up right there means that I might be able to just sneakily grab onto the side of his little rocky bits and just kind of shimmy my way along the side. Granted, as soon as he's done letting you stab his tummy, he goes back underwater, taking you with him. But again, that's nothing a little grab and shimmy can't handle. I do, however, have to swim upstream of a river for a few minutes before even getting here, so if the waterfalls don't take me over them, the exhaustion itself is probably enough to finish me off. The last boss I know I couldn't beat is the final boss of the game, Malice. Now, I can run pretty fast when I need to, and he doesn't really move for the most part. However, the reason I don't think I could beat him is I don't want to. Straight up, he's the least fun boss in the whole game for me, so if he materialized in real life in front of me, I just wouldn't have the patience to deal with him. Sorry, Malice, you better take your weak-ass flip-flops to the shoe store and get some better kicks before trying to get any of me.
You got knocked the fuck out!
Alright, baby, it's time for my male ego to go on full display here. This next section is for bosses that I don't think I can beat. But maybe 90% of my brain is telling me that I can't beat these next few. But that last 10%, man. Like with the third Colossus, Gaius here. Do I gotta swim to get to his arena? Yeah. And do I gotta jump this incredibly scary gap? Sure, but is he gonna squish me into a pancake with his giant rock slab of a sword? Yeah, probably, but I still think I can do it. Sure, as soon as he pulls his sword up, he's gonna send me halfway across the map. But if I can stay on, it's game over, baby! Stab! Stab! Stab again! Boom, he's dead. Maybe they should put me on the box art instead. In a similar vein, the 15th Colossus Argus is also just a guy with a sword. Basically, as long as I don't get crushed to death by his giant stomps or plummet to my doom when he destroys the bridge, then bam, I'm fine. It's just an easy task of taking a huge leap hundreds of feet in the air onto a giant moving stone ape man. That's like a Thursday for me. Now, admittedly, the idea of staying in the literal palm of his hand and stabbing in a bunch, hoping that he doesn't, is something that doesn't really sit well with me. Something the next 3 bosses on this list have in common is Aggro, your loyal horse companion. I've never ridden a horse, but it's safe to say that if I did have to ride a horse, I'd be passable at it. The horse does most of the work, all you gotta do is stay on. With the 9th Colossus Bassaran, all I need to do is run away on my horse, which should be easy since I'm already a coward. Getting him positioned over the vent seems doable, and once he rolls over, it's literally just climb up him once and you're done. The hardest part, aside from the, learning how to ride a horse, is definitely going to be the fact that he shoots lightning out of his mouth, but hey, everybody has their stuff. Having mastered the art of horse riding by now, I'd certainly be ready for the next Colossus, Dirge. Again, it involves running away, which I love doing. The only hard part is going to be using a bow backwards on a horse. While I have very little bow and arrow experience, I do own Wii Sports Resort, and the target is literally a giant glowing circle 5 feet away from me, so I have faith I can land a hit. There is, of course, the slight possibility that after 15 minutes of practice I'm not a horse riding expert, however, in which case as soon as I go to turn around on Aggro, I might just fall into the mouth of a giant sandworm, but who's to say?
I serve only one master. His name is
Aggro!
The last horse-centric boss is the fan favorite Phalanx, who I actually think might be the easiest yet. Yeah, you gotta get on horseback, and sure, the boss has been known to fly on occasion, but it's not going nearly as fast as Avion was, and it's just the solid, unmoving sand on the ground instead of water beneath me. But definitely the part that makes it the most doable for me is the fact that it gently brings me back to the ground every once in a while. You really don't have to do it, Phalanx. Thanks. You're a real great friend. Absolutely 100% zero issues, Cap. Bring me in, I'll handle it. Done. Finito. Goodbye. Farewell. These last bosses I can beat. Bring them on. The obvious first pick is Valus, as it's the first enemy you face in the game. This is the tutorial boss. Even literal babies can beat Valus with their eyes closed. Imagine what I can do with my eyes open. Boom, stab the ankle. Boom, climb the leg. Hey, nice butt. Oh, what's that? I'm stabbing you in the head and onto the next boss, Quadratus. You're a big cow? Joke's on you, burgers are my favorite food. Where's the bun, you ask? Right here. Top bun, bottom bun. Grrr! As soon as you so much as try to touch me, boom, arrow to the foot. Now you're crying for help. Please don't kill me, Mr. Blake, you beg. No, I say mercifully, ending your colossal life. Alright, enough fan fiction for now. In all seriousness, I'm really good at hiding and running away. So both the 4th and 6th Colossi, Phaedra and Barba, should be easy peasy. What's the first thing you do when you see a giant monster? That's right, you run away. Which is exactly what I do against these two. Hide and lie in wait, then jump out when they least expect it. Barba's a little harder since his face is right there, but Phaedra ain't even looking at me. Homeboy is completely preoccupied, and that's just asking for a little guy to climb up your ass stairs and stab you in the neck. And lastly, the two that you probably expected to see here because you probably think you can beat them too. 11 and 14, Celosia and Cenobia. Now, Cenobia requires a lot of parkour, but thanks in large part to my huge ego and the fact that I've beaten all of the Uncharted games, I think about jumping around like Nathan Drake, no joke, once a week. It's a common daydream for me, and what's a little platforming after all I've been through thus far? Once it gets to the end and it's just a 1v1, it's probably a little bit harder, but this thing is like the size of a bear, and I mean, we already established who's gonna win in that fight. Finally, we come to Celosia, the 11th Colossus, and the one I think I could beat the easiest. Usually you're supposed to scare it off the cliff and follow it down, but I'm not an idiot. I know it's just gonna come all the way back up here. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna wait for it to come all the way back upstairs, tiring itself out, where I will be lying in wait at the top of this altar where I can get it to repeatedly bash its head into it, causing Celosia to give itself such a bad head injury that it won't be able to afford its hospital bills. So it'll spiral into an alcoholic addiction and drink the pain away until it wakes up in a cold sweat one night, realizing that it's wasted its entire life away, and will finally enroll in a community college just like Dorman wanted. Bang! Boss beaten! Thanks for watching. How many of these bosses do you think you can take? And how many do you think I can take? All of them, right? Huh? And when somebody inevitably makes a giant hairy stone golem, who are you gonna call to fight it? That's right, the army, or someone with guns. Don't call me, I'm sick that day.
That missile is targeted to the giant's current position. Where's the giant, Mansley? Well,
Thanks to my good friend Riley for editing this video. It was a ton of fun to make. Thank you for watching it. I hope you had a blast. Subscribe and like, follow me on Twitch, all that stuff. I love you loads, and I'll hopefully see you again soon. Take care, goodbye. Mwah.